Hi, everybody. This is Lorn Dreitzler. I was born in San Francisco and moved from the Napa Valley in about 1953. My father was transferred from the Napa Register up in the Napa Valley down to the Independent Journal. So that was our motivation for moving down to Marin. Uh, Mom had gone to work at Sorayas on 4th Street in Santa Fe, which and Modern Eve, both of those. And so we were getting entrenched in Santa Fe when I started school at E Street, and I thought at the time I would be, the new face in the crowd, but as it turned out, there were lots of new faces with so many of the elementary schools coming together and merging into E Street at that time. The lots of changes in the elementary schools in the area, I guess, at that point. But when you looked around the playgrounds and the classes and everything, this was what would become the beginnings of the class of 1960, and we were only about 11 or 12 years old at that time. So I don't have great recollection of many of our teachers there, but Mrs. Wormuth stands out to me. I do remember her, and we'd all by that time been doing book reports for a number of years. But this is the first time that I remember doing oral book reports, and I credit her with kind of challenging me to upgrade some of my reading. And I was introduced to Jack London and Call of the Wild and books of that ilk at that time. And that started the lifelong passion for me of reading, and I really appreciate what she did for us. But looking around the playgrounds and everything, there were just going to be a lot of new people that would become long-lasting friends of mine over time. Um, One of the things I remember mostly was the amount of corn nuts and sunflower seeds that were eaten by that group. And as a sidebar to that, the E Street School a number of years ago was made into a clinic where they do eye surgeries. And it was only about a year ago that I went in for cataract surgeries myself there. And as they had me under anesthetic very lightly while they did the cataract surgery, but I could swear I could smell corn nuts and sunflower seeds still in the room. Um, then we were off to Davidson, which at that time was a junior high, and that was I think we were the second class in that at that school at that time. And a few more faces arrived as Santa Fe was growing in size, and my teachers there were a little more memorable to me. I can remember Mrs. Meisner and Mr. Schaffler, and there was this strange guy walking in the halls called Dr. Sachs. I think he was the child psychologist. For some reason, he was. I'd never talked to him, but he seemed to be a pretty famous character there. But lots of new friends at Davidson, and it was an enjoyable experience. It's now middle school, by the way, which is when you look at the campus, it has to be three times the size it was when we were there. It's just amazing. And interestingly to me, I don't remember if we had a sports team, but on the gym that you will all recall that was there, it is now the Davidson Cougars. So I don't remember what it was when we were there. But it was good, a good couple of years, and then it was on to Santa Fe High School for all of us. And whoa, what an experience that was! I mean, not talk about new faces. There were a lot of new faces by the time we got to Santa Fe. I mean, sophomores and juniors and seniors were all new to us, and many of them looked quite a bit older than who we were at that time. But there was more merge. You know, yeah, St. Raphael's School was also graduating, and those that didn't go to Marin Catholic pretty much came to San Rafael High School, and we found more friends in that process. So it was quite something, very impressive edifice that we were entering into, and we made it through okay. The first 2 years were pretty awkward and intimidating, I think, to most of us. And the second 2 years were, it was young adulthood, and we were all coming of age together during that time. But lots of great memories. The socially with we're all starting to think about cars and getting driver's licenses, and that meant freedom to us, and football games and Friday night sports and dances and this type of thing were just added to our enjoyment. I think I do have one recollection: the little theater. We had Byron Jones and Dunn very active, involved in keeping students on the stage, and I can remember doing bits of hits with myself as Henry Higgins, and Eliza Doolittle was sung by Galen Horgan, and delightful voice and great times on all of those social environments. It was just wonderful. Academically, I think we had some great teachers. Some were older, some a little bit younger, but a vivid memory was when we had the invasion from San Francisco State University, and that's when we were first introduced to the likes of Jack Curtin and Chuck Fessler, and Mr. Shoemaker had been there for a little while. But these were giants to me. They were inspirational. They were aspirational. You could really sit down and talk to them, and it was great to have them part of our youth like that. A few years ago, I was lucky enough to go to Santa Fe High School has a tradition of honoring every year past teachers and administrators and that type of thing on their wall of fame. And they had honored Jack Curtin on this particular evening, and Jack was in his 90s at that time. I went with Dana Detmeyer, who was very close with Jack over the years, and it was quite something. He was quite old, but made a great account of himself on stage, and was wildly applauded by those of us that were there. So it was a great way to see him again. He passed away just a couple of years ago now. So, at graduation, or many friends later, we would all go our own way. It was very reminiscent of the final scene in American Graffiti, when everyone was gathered at the county airport, and some were off to college, some were off getting married, and others would stay while others went on with their lives. So no right or wrong, just different paths at that time. And so here we are again today, and 65 years later, many of us are still hanging out together. So it was great to see everyone at our last reunion that we did last year. We hope to see everyone at our 65th reunion, which will be next summer, in the summer of 2025. So we encourage everybody to watch for our Save the Date program, and you'll be seeing that before the end of this year. So that was it. I thank the committee for everything they've done for us over the last number of years, and I want to thank you all for listening. So have a great day. Thanks.